Hello kids, this is Chris Cook and I want to help you with your major bar chords. This video is brought to you by the letter B for bar chords, specifically major bar chords. We're going to look at learning bar chords in a couple of different ways. So we're going to focus on just major bar chords here at first. And we're going to look at two different types. One bar chord is going to have the root note on the sixth string. No matter what, the root note, the note that gives the chord its first name. Like if it's in a G major chord, G is its first name. And that G note is the root. And that root will be found on the sixth string. And then in a moment, we're going to look at those major bar chords where the root note lies on the fifth string. So first off, let's look at the major bar chords with the root note on the sixth string. And they are based around the shape that we already know as E major. E major. So if we look at our E shape, E major. That's an E major bar chord, and sure enough, the E note is on the sixth string, and it's the lowest note in the chord. That's our root note. So what we want to do is we want to take this shape and move it up the neck. Now if we just move just this shape and get that Spanish bullfighter sound, it's pretty cool, but what gives it its sound is we're moving some of the notes, but yet some of the notes are open strings. They don't move, so we get this weird dissonance here. Enough of that. We want to move every single note that we're playing. So take your E chord. Instead of using these three fingers, let's play the exact same chord, but let's use these three fingers like this. I'm going to play the exact same shape, but I'm putting fingers 2, 3, and 4 down to hold that chord. Now my first finger is free and it's going to function like a capo. So if I've got an E chord, I can scoot everything up one fret, and now I can bar this first finger across all 6 strings. Now my root note is this F note that we're holding down on that top string. Now I've turned my E chord, my E major chord, into an F major chord. If I move that up one more fret, well, now that F becomes an F sharp. Now I have an F sharp bar chord, an F sharp major bar chord. Here's G. I'm going to move it up to an A. Let's see here. G, G sharp, there's A. Now I have an A major chord. Here's B. B and C are always side by side. There's the C major bar chord. You get the idea. G, G major bar chord. A major bar chord, and so on and so forth. Pretty cool. Now we've got a bar chord for every note that's on that sixth string. Now in the same way that we looked at an E major chord, E major. In order to play bar chords where the root note is on the fifth string, we want to look at the A major shape. A major. I play it like this. Some chord books show it like this. Some show it like this. Some people play it like this. Many different ways to bar across those 3 notes that are side by side there on the second fret. I play it like that. But in this instance, to turn this into a bar chord, we're only playing the middle 4 strings right there. That's That's what we're going to stick with. I want you to use your third finger to bar across those 3 strings, or your fourth finger. Third finger or fourth finger, okay? Now what we want to do in order to move this bar chord up the neck, if this is an A chord, A major. What happens if I move this up 1 fret, and then I've got to move this open string up 1 fret? I've got to hold down the 1st fret. Well, I've moved that whole shape up 1 fret. I went from playing an A chord, A major, up to an A sharp, because that's an A sharp note right there. Sometimes we call it a B flat. We'll get into all that later, but right now let's just call it an A sharp. A sharp major chord, and I'm only playing the 4 middle strings. The 1st string is kind of muted with the edge of this finger that's kind of lifted up there. Get out of the way there. Ugh. This finger is kind of raised up just a little bit so it touches that string and mutes it. And my 1st finger is lightly touching the top string, so that way I can strum across. Let me get it right there. Now I can strum across all the strings, and I just get the sound of those 4 strings in the middle. That one, top one's dead, and the bottom one's dead. So if that's an A sharp, let's move it up to a B. B major. Let me just emphasize, these are all major bar chords. Let's move it up 1 more. Here's C. C major bar chord. C sharp major bar chord. I can keep on going. D major. D sharp major. E major. F major. And you know, you can use your 4th finger, like I said. You can use your 3rd finger or your 4th. So here's the way we're going to practice those major bar chords there a little bit. I've got a blues backing track that I've found on YouTube, which there's so many great backing tracks you can jam along to. A lot of them are cheesy sounding, granted, but they're great for practicing. It's just a practice tool. We're going to use this Shuffle Blues in G, and if you look at the little chart that it shows on the video here, all those chords are 7th chords, it says. We're just going to play major bar chords. So anywhere it says G7, we're going to play a G bar chord, G major bar chord. C major bar chord, and D, we're going to play a D major bar chord. The little percentage signs that you see, that just means repeat what you played in the previous bar. So if you see the G right there, 1, 2, 3, 4, the next bar is also a G. 1, 2, 3, 4, stay on G. 2, 3, 4, stay on G. 2, 3, 4. Then we move down to the next one. We'll play C, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3, 4, G, 2, 3, 4. You get the idea. We're going to use this track, and I'm going to push play here, and I'll just kind of jam through this. I'm only going to strum each chord 1 time per bar, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. C. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. D. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. D. 2, 3, 4. Now we can play these same bar chords in a different position on the neck, still using the same shapes here that we're using, but we're going to have to rearrange them a little bit. So we said that We've learned bar chords with the root note on the 6th string and on the 5th string. So if we're playing a G with the root note on the 6th string, we could play a G with the root note on the 5th string here. 2, 3, 4, 1. Then I'm going to find the C on the top string for the next one. There's my C. Play my C bar chord. Back to G. Here's the D. C. Back to G. And D. So I'm going to do that one more time. G with the root note on the 5th string. The next chord's going to be C, and the root note's on the 6th string. Here's C. There's my chord. Right back to G. D is next. Down to C. And right back to G. Now I'm going to go back down here. So G on the 6th string. There's my G major chord. C with the root note on the 5th string. Here's D. Now using the two different types of bar chords there, I can keep all my chords in one little region on the neck. I'm not having to jump all over the place. But I could move this C, use the same bar chord, but have my root note on the 6th string. There's my G. Here's D. C. G. I'm just using the one type of bar chord. Let's do it again. There's G. Now next is going to be C. G, A, B, C. Right back to the G. A, B, C, D. C, G. It's really up to you how you want to mix these up. We could do the same thing with the root note here on the 5th string. Here's G, C, right back up to G, D, C, G. Okay, stop. You get the idea. This is starting to open up the neck there for you, giving you a lot of bar chords to play up and down with the root note on the 6th string, and also bar chords with the root note on the 5th string. I should say that the backing track was courtesy of Guitar Improvisation. I will make a note of that in my video, so I'm giving the correct people the credit for their wonderful backing track they've made. Hope that helps, man. Have some fun. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next time. E major.